This is a tourist attraction with a twist. The abandoned rail track might be good for having fun and taking photos, but it's a memory of a time when this stretch of land was a war zone. Here at the border, South Koreans can sneak a glimpse of North Korea. The security is tight to stop South Koreans from getting too curious and to prevent infiltrators crossing over from the north. The maps on the bridge show a united Korea, but the reality is, this is as far as we can go. Beyond them is another bridge, over the river and then onto North Korea. The division is more personal for some Koreans than it is for others. Jeong Seong-choon is a guide here at the Imjinak site. He was born in a village just across the border and left during the Korean War in the 1950s. He says working here means he can be as close as he can to his old village and be the first to walk across if unification ever happens. And as Seong-choon points out, there are many like him.
This person here, he missed his hometown, but he couldn't return. He passed away in South Korea, so his wife brought his photographs so that he could at least have a final look towards the direction of his home.
There's a real sense of a divided nation here. You have South Koreans peering across the border, trying to catch a glimpse of a land that perhaps their own forefathers actually came from. And yes, this still quite clearly is a hard border, but there are signs of possible reconciliation between the North and the South. You've had President Moon of South Korea, along with Kim Jong-un of North Korea, famously holding hands and crossing the border together. There's also talk of rail and road links between the two countries, and actually all signs that possibly this border's looking just a little less permanent. Like many of his countrymen, South Korean President Moon Jae-in's parents fled from North Korea during the Korean War. He's made better ties with Pyongyang a top priority for his administration. Along with his well-publicized summit with Kim Jong-un, Moon has stopped South Korean propaganda messages from being blared across the border on loudspeakers. And at the last Winter Olympics, the two Koreas entered as one united team under one flag. But not everyone is with President Moon. These protesters are supporters of South Korea's right wing, Moon's opponents. They're loud and angry with their president's government, and in particular, his policy of reconciling with Kim Jong-un.
North Korea is the worst political system on this planet in the 20th and 21st century. I think, in short, making peace with Kim Jong-un of North Korea is same as making peace with grandson of Stalin or Hitler.
South Korea is divided on the issue of unification. It can get heated at times. But for a lot of people, the real feeling is just apathy. Oh-sun is an English teacher. She's typical of South Korea's younger generation. As time goes by, the connection with the North is reduced, and that desire for a united Korea often just isn't there.
I got many things to care actually to survive in this society, like my job, not to make mistakes. And I need to care my family too. And I actually need to just worry about my future too after retirement. So I know there are a lot of problems, social problems that I need to care, but I'm too kind of busy to care, even in unification. I don't really feel the connection with the North Korean. I know there are some defectors, but not in my family. And I don't really have friends who are from North Korea, so I don't really feel like I have some special connection with them.
Without that connection, you can start to see why unification and the turmoil it might bring isn't so popular in a country that's done quite well on its own.
It means that North Korean government, North Korean regime has to collapse, right? Because none of South Korean people think that we are going to be unified in the North Korean way. So that is out of sight at this point. And secondly, South Korean public, I don't really think they are very ready for the unification. I mean, we are happy to exchange people and maybe exchange some economic cooperation, but the unification, well, it'll be good, but what's the cost and are we ready? So people are a little bit ambivalent about that.
South Korea's economy has slowed down in recent years, and younger people in particular have been hit hard. To them, unification seems like a sacrifice. North Korea's per capita GDP is less than 10% of South Korea's, and most analysts think that if the countries unite, it'll be the South that pays. Many South Koreans don't think that's a sacrifice worth making. For others, though, it is personal. Hwan Woo-seok once had a family in the north, but everything changed when the war came to his hometown and North Korean forces began conscripting young men. At the age of 20, he made a decision he's had to live with: join the army or escape south and abandon his family.
I was the only one in the family eligible for conscription, so I thought I'd go into temporary hiding for a couple of months. But who knew the war would go on for more than 68 years? I could have brought my entire family over to the south with me, had I known we'd be separated for so long. I'd left my home alone, thinking that we'd be separated for so long.
Woo-seok remarried in South Korea and never saw his northern family again. That is, until last year, when he was allowed to travel to the north and see the 2-year-old daughter he left behind.
My daughter is now 70. I told her to live as long as I do. If she lives for another 20 years, it might be possible for her to meet her family in the south. Her half-siblings are in South Korea, and they could visit her in the north. I don't have much time left in this world, so I'll probably not get to see her again. But I told her that once Korea unifies, they must meet one another. In my opinion, those who oppose unification are not in the same position as us separated families. The younger generation have not experienced a war.
Divisions split Woo-seok's first family. And reconciliation, if it ever comes, will be too late. But he's now been able to see how they've grown and hear about their lives. For some in South Korea, unification is personal, and it does matter. Abubakr al Shamahi, The Newsmakers, Seoul.